Right, this looks like it's gonna be one of the longer clips in this game. Well, guess it's a good thing I'm gonna be more thorough checking the starting section of the area. Wish there was some explanation for why we can't grapple with that thing from this side. No hidden passage in the ceiling here, and again we're running into recurring enemies that look the same color and durability as the enemies we ran into at the start of the game. Bit odd. Again, it's never gonna get old to see when I counter two creatures at once, though that cool moment was kinda immediately neutered by me dropping right into a fireball. Huh. I'd be more willing to accept seeing moss and grass near surface level, not this damn deep underground. Not that we have any precise measurements for how far down we are now. Okay, timing was a bit off with the counter there, but we're still taking this guy down pretty easily. That may have spent a lot of Aeon energy, but at least our actual health wasn't mauled. Kind of hoping there's more than one Metroid along this side of the map. Then we've only seen one shell on the ground so far. Of course, I was also hoping that thing wouldn't just roll right down to hit us like that. I have the distinct feeling we're not going to be especially lucky in this clip. Well, at least it's the weakest form of Metroid. I suppose that's something. Can't really find it in me to feel insulted that we're still running into this kind of creature this far underground. They did a damn good job making every Metroid feel entertaining to fight. Or at least every type of Metroid we've come across so far in this game. And that's another one down. Again, I kind of wish there were more Metroids in this part of the caves, but it's not like I'm the one who decides where we fight them. Okay, didn't expect that door there. Let's find out what's behind it. Definitely good to know there's more to this area in this particular direction. Though it's more than a little baffling that we found this water underneath areas that had a lot of lava around. While I'm pretty sure there's some stuff worth grabbing at the bottom, I'd rather save as much of the underwater stuff for when we get the gravity suit. As much as possible, really. But then with our luck, the gravity suit probably is underwater. Speaking of upgrades, what is this supposed to be? Oh, you've gotta be kidding me! I called it! I bloody called it when we were struggling to get through that door several clips ago! Well, how am I supposed to get out of this hole? I swear, this is the kind of upgrade that you're only likely to use after you've already confirmed that you need the ability to move a hell of a lot faster than the world around you. Come to think of it, Does that mean we won't get the speed boost at any point in this game? I would certainly appreciate that, at the very least. Right, no spider crawling through here. Time to mess with time itself. It certainly drains Aeon energy faster than anything else from what I can see. Understandable. Yeah. This definitely feels like about as good a place to save as any. Just want to take care of that rolling crawler thing first. Not sure how it's able to do its rolling attack while sticking to the ceiling, but that's not the strangest thing we've seen on this planet. That award still goes to the acid toilets in this version of this game's events. I get that there are Chozo ruins on this planet, like pretty much every planet Samus ever seems to go to, and I understand that the Chozo did some genetic engineering to make the Metroids as dangerous as they are. But why in the hell would the Chozo make some kind of locking mechanism that requires the DNA sequences of whatever Metroids happen to be in a given area in order to let someone move on? Look, I get that there needs to be some measure of gameplay story segregation, but still, that feels like a pretty massive, easy-to-avoid plot hole to me. Especially since every other version of this game does not have that plot hole. The fan remake and the original. Okay, seems we have some new kind of suicide enemy. Certainly not something we're going to be able to just counter like most of the others. Oh, well that was close. You've got to be kidding me. Lasers? That would make sense for some kind of factory, but I think we're still technically in the wilderness at the moment. Assuming, of course, that wilderness is the right word to use for anything we've come across on this entire planet. I thought that room with that Metroid was the extent of how far things went in this direction, but holy shit, clearly I underestimated just how convoluted things can get around here. And I'm not sure why, because this is the third Metroid game I'm playing through. It also looks like I have no choice but to go through the water still. At least a spider ball means there's no way we're going to get stuck at the bottom. Son of a bitch! Really says something that I'm more afraid of the turret than anything else around here. And of course, we don't have the means to open that door. Yeah, didn't think so. Still, it was worth a try. And of course, there's no other way to the right. Guess we're heading back left for now. Anyone want to bet I'll forget about that door in this whole area by the time we find whatever it is, let us open it, because it could go either way. Well, at least the underwater version of bugs are just as easy to kill as the regular version. Not even a blip for something we could break anywhere around here. I'm trying to remember if this is about the point in AM2R when things started looking like a vision of hell. I seem to recall having an issue with that game going from a hellish endgame looking environment to something more pleasant looking. Granted, the background is generally arbitrary, but there are certain kinds of things you expect to see when you're getting closer to the end, due to plenty of people finding such things pretty damn cool. Okay, definitely a lot more expansive this direction than I was expecting by a long shot. Kind of amazing that they kept the game so true to the original Metroid 2 while still throwing in enough to keep people on their toes, though maybe that's just because I have an iffy memory when it comes to 2D terrain. Huh. So I assume the next Metroid is to the right of us, but we haven't seen a door on that side just yet. Yet another door that we have no means of getting through. And again, it's not even the same kind of door that was blocking us earlier on that we still don't have the means to open. That type of door is apparently just down the hall. Yeah, guess we'll just keep going on up. Okay, so we've got a flower that doesn't quite manage to block the way forward. At least not when we have the space jump and there's open air above it. Bit of an odd time to throw that barrier at us, really. Well, at least I know how to open that door. That's a bit less annoying. Not exactly the way they probably intended, but at least I got to it unharmed. Hell, when's the last time we grabbed an energy tank? Feels like several hours ago. Right, nothing else up here, though I suppose there might be more to the left. Okay, if there's something there, then we need a grapple point to be able to get through all those crystals. And why do I get the feeling the other upgrade down here just wouldn't be worth the effort? Right, and the search continues. A search through a lot more ground to cover than I thought we had left, even if we're supposed to find 7 more Metroids before moving on. Why did I even have those expectations I would be short in this direction anyway? I don't strictly need to destroy that plant to move on this way, but it's pretty satisfying. Possibly why I keep taking down all the enemies in our way, despite not strictly needing to. Anyway, that missile upgrade certainly didn't take much to get. Wonder what makes the game designers decide to make one upgrade a pain in the ass to find, and what makes them think they should practically be gift-wrapped for us. Right, not even sure why I thought I could get to that other upgrade from here. And yet more blocks that can only be broken through with the screw attack, as if I needed that to figure out I screwed myself with the roller enemy in the same narrow tunnel. Another elevator. Good God, just how complicated is the area that these Metroids are scattered across anyway? Kind of wish I remembered if I had a similar amount of annoyance when we were going through AM2R at this same point in the game. Most of what I remember about are things like the atmosphere, the lore entries, the fact that with the exception of one boss, the combat sucked compared to this game, and that one T-Rex Metroid in particular somehow felt tense enough to warrant being an endgame boss in his own right, somehow. Certainly nothing specific, like if there were any areas in that game where we needed to find 7 Metroids before moving on, how large said area was, and how long the search took for me to find them all. That kind of feels like it would be the most important information to me at this point. It also feels like I still wouldn't have much of an answer, even if I was outright looking at that footage side by side with this footage. Well, at least that plant sitting there is actually blocking the way in a way that we can't just jump over, not that the poor thing has a chance at stopping us. Not this far into the game at least. How long ago was it that the large plant was capable of stopping us in our tracks anyway? Probably one of the funnier things that always comes back to bite me when I start over a game like Metroid. I get so used to how capable the player character becomes that I don't remember anymore what it was like when said character was at their weakest. Right, let's try that again. A super missile expansion just feels way too tempting considering what we've got to deal with around here. Not to mention the foes still to come. For half a second I was worried about another bit of ground breaking out from under us. Anyway, now that that's done, time to move on. I said move on, not go right back to the little maze we just solved. Well, I've certainly got the feeling there's gonna be another Metroid on the other end of that elevator. Anyone else getting that feeling? We're certainly due for another Metroid encounter after this time long. And we aren't even getting a ping down here. Great. Just great. A whole lot of new ground covered, but little to no progress with our actual goal. But I suppose that's part of the thing with exploration. Since you don't know exactly where you need to go, sometimes you can come close and unintentionally start moving away from it again. Or just find yourself back where you came from before you can stop yourself. Still, part of me wants to think that implies there's something important up there. But what I consider important and what the game does might be a little different here. Okay, super missile expansion then. I can get behind that, though I can't get behind that yellow door just yet. Seriously, we've been running into those since the absolute start of the game. I think I'm pretty justified getting annoyed seeing them when we don't have the means to open them after this much damn time of running into them in this game. Part of me thinks I shouldn't have to come back for that standard missile upgrade. It's not like I'm trying to be a completionist after all. Still, the pulse scan up there showed that there's something important just below us, and since we aren't seeing a ping on the Metroid scanner, I assume that's a more major upgrade. Maybe even the thing that will let us start opening that style of door. Huh. Wonder why I didn't try to destroy the lasers before now. Sure, they aren't as terrifying as the turrets, but they're still annoying to deal with. Well, not as annoying as finding and navigating through redone tunnels of this planet, but still. Certainly a lot of things that need the rapid-fire beam down here, aren't there? I wish that kind of implied something. Unfortunately, while the many crystals that block upgrades imply we're gonna have a good deal of trouble when we're done with what should be the main game, that doesn't mean there are too many other noteworthy signs of things to come from the terrain and enemies that we're running into. At best, you've got the rooms that are blatantly designed just so we can have a fight with a Metroid inside of them. But there are just so many signs when a Metroid is near that it's hard to be caught off guard by one appearing. Speaking of signs... it looks like we're moving away from that flashing green indicator that the pulse scan showed earlier. Again, pretty frustrating. Especially now that we have yet another maze within the overall maze that may or may not have something actually good at the end of it. Right, not even sure why I tried to bomb that grapple block. Can anyone tell me if I ever actually had a mind? Because it's been so long since I had it that I don't remember what it felt like to have one. Onwards and downwards. And another door we're incapable of opening. Plus, a major upgrade. Huh. I think it's easier for major upgrades to just sneak up on you in this game than the other 2D Metroids we've done so far, because they don't have a special room for some reason. Okay, so our power beam has a bit more bite to it now. Huh. Not only can we open the green doors, we don't need the rapid-fire beam to take down turrets. Anyone else find it strange that one upgrade outright makes another so completely redundant that it's unlikely you'll ever use it again? Or am I just not looking at the rapid-fire beam the right way? I don't think it works with the ice beam, so I doubt it'd help it make battles against Metroids any easier. Literally, the only reason we have ever used it so far in the game was to take out enemies like the turrets that seemed invulnerable to everything else we had. Enemies that we can now destroy with regular shots. Don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't like this beam upgrade, it's just that this game really wanted to sell us on the things that use Aeon energy, and now 1/4 of those things are completely redundant. I think my confusion is rather justified here. Why am I only just noticing that when they have electricity around them, the bats can't be countered? Another Metroid shell! Hopefully that means we've got another Metroid to take down nearby. Okay, so we've got dangerous plants both above and below. And again we run into screw attack blocks, preventing us from making any more progress in this direction. It really makes it hard to feel especially excited when you have an upgrade that can open new paths for you, when you constantly run into something else to keep you from making progress instantly, after thinking you've opened things up by quite a bit. How many times in this clip have we seen a Metroid shell and not actually gotten to reach the Metroid it belongs to? It's a running gag that I don't remember occurring quite as much in AM2R, and I'm afraid I'm not a member of the audience that finds that gag funny. Bloody hell. Think I'm gonna work my way to a save point. We've gained just enough that I don't want to have to redo some of those things, but at the same time, I need a break even if we haven't actually done anything especially interesting in quite a while. I swear, navigation in this game makes everything feel slow and methodical, but the combat really makes it feel fast-paced. Sure, that clash has always been there in this series, but in this game it just feels like such a larger gap that it's hard for me to avoid smacking my head against the table in frustration.